This video was made possible by Wix. If you're ready to create a website, head over to wix.com/go/infographics2019 to try out one of their premium plans right now. High school, the place where you do the majority of your maturing, an evolutionary hotbox of hormones, feelings, social pressures, and a million other cues where your body and mind all go through the most intense changes you'll ever experience in your life. College, the place where your newly adult mind is minted with the greater ideas of civilization, where you're taught the finer points of humanity and elevated from the mud and muck to the lofty heights of arithmetic, art, and history, and the place that will financially cripple you for the first 2 decades of your adult life. Today, we're putting high school up against college to determine an ultimate winner on which can ruin your life harder. Compulsory education was adopted in the United States in the early 20th century in response to a growing need for a specialized and educated workforce. Up until then, most jobs made do with apprenticeships, and the lack of an interconnected world required very little from individual workers. During the Industrial Revolution, though, technology began to advance in leaps and bounds, and countries around the world soon realized that their children needed the basic fundamentals of an education, which up until then had been a luxury reserved for mostly the wealthy. Today, all children in the US must attend grade school through to high school, graduating with a diploma in their 12th year. For those unable to complete their education or forced to drop out, GED programs exist to help certify that they've received a basic high school education and are the minimum requirements for most non-technical jobs. Curriculums in high school tend to include basic US and world history, physical fitness, mathematics, and introductory sciences such as biology and physics. Modern colleges are the evolution of the prestigious education afforded to only the most select individuals at specialized academies of various types. While some academies taught a well-rounded curriculum, many had specializations in specific subjects, such as mathematics or the arts, and you might be expected to receive an education at several institutions before being considered a true professional of your field. Nowadays, college degree programs have been streamlined and consolidated so that applicants typically only need to attend a single location to fulfill all the requirements of their degrees. With the explosion in technical jobs across the global job sector, a strong emphasis on a college education has seen more college graduates than at any other time in human history. While at the same time, traditional trade schools, which teach only a very select education, what would have traditionally been an apprenticeship, are on the decline. With advancements in robotics and artificial intelligence, it's estimated that trade schools will only continue to decline as the need for human laborers shrinks until eventually being non-existent. So in one corner we have the place where you'll hit all of your most important developmental years, the building you'll be incarcerated in for 4 years, while evolution hits you full force in the face with everything it's got and puts you through the weirdest changes you'll experience in your life. In the other corner, we have the place that's supposed to mature your ways of thinking but will really only serve as a deeply depressing introduction into adulthood and ruin your finances for decades to come. Which can do a better job of ruining your life? Who can win this epic deathmatch to utterly crush your human spirit? High school comes out strong right out of the gate with quite a few obvious strengths in this fight. For starters, this is a place where your body will experience its major changes from childhood to adulthood, and that opens up for the opportunity for high school to humiliate you in dozens of incredible ways. For one, your voice is going to start cracking as your vocal cords mature, and in the high-pressure social Darwinism that is high school, nothing is going to ruin your life worse than having your voice suddenly turn into a Mickey Mouse-type high-pitched squeak, as literally everyone in the entire world laughs at you. As your body changes, you're going to start experiencing other kinds of weird and awesomely humiliating things as well, which high school will ruthlessly exploit to crush your spirit. For girls, you've probably already been getting your period, but some of you will have no clue what a period is as you're a late bloomer. While this is a perfectly normal situation, the moment other girls realize you haven't gotten your period yet, they're going to tease you mercilessly, and your self-esteem will plummet as you think of yourself as nothing more than a little baby, not a girl on her way to being a woman. Ouch! That one's gonna leave some lifelong psychological trauma. But wait, because high school is also typically where your breasts start developing, and you're going to have to juggle feelings of inadequacy if they grow too slow or too little, or feelings of shame and embarrassment if they grow too much or too fast. Ladies, high school just dealt your soul a 1-2 punch of epic proportions. But the guys aren't getting off any easier. High school marks your first introduction to body hair, and it's gonna start coming in everywhere, and it's gonna start smelling. A fact many of you will take a while to realize. Before high school, body deodorant was only optional, and now it's mandatory. But it'll take you a while to catch on. Meanwhile, you're going to be getting called stinky behind your back and won't find out until you overhear a bunch of people laughing at you over your BO. Some of you, though, won't be getting much body hair, or it'll be coming in late. And that's going to just crush your self-esteem as you consider yourself a little boy and not a growing man. Once you leave high school, you'll realize that literally nobody cares about body hair, and it is in no way a big deal. But for those crucial 4 years, you'll be considered a baby that isn't maturing as fast as everyone else. And let's face it, that's enough excuse for other high schoolers to tease you into oblivion. But wait, because it gets better. You're going to start getting erections now, completely randomly and completely out of your control. That's right, high school is Boner Town, population U, and they're going to come fast. And on second thought, we're not going to finish that sentence. The point is, your random erections are going to give high school all kinds of opportunity to ruin your soul by putting you in hugely embarrassing situations. Your self-esteem is going to get crushed as kids laugh at your completely out of control and unintended erection, even while they're ignoring the fact that they have the same problems because, yay, hormones. High school kids are vicious, and that intense mix of hormones and social Darwinism is a ruthless cocktail that can kill your self-esteem and give you issues for life. This fight looks one-sided, and high school may be the clear winner for the battle to wreck your soul. But wait, because college is up next, and it's coming fast out of the gate with some knockout punches of its own. College can't compete with high school in crushing your self-esteem with bodily changes, as most of you will have completed all of your maturity by then, physically anyway. Mentally, you're still babies, but that's something you won't learn until you leave college and enter the real world for the first time. Instead of humiliating you, college will work to simply crush your will to live and joy for life directly. At first, college seems like a dream come true. You're finally out of the house and on your own for the first time. You're mostly independent, nobody forces you to go to class or do your homework, and there's no more curfew or restrictions for weekends, or weeknights either for that matter. How could college be that bad? Well, you may not have a curfew anymore, but you do have 7 a.m. classes every day for years, and with nobody to force you to be in bed by 10, odds are it's going to take you a long time to develop the discipline to get to bed at a decent time. So for months, you're going to be showing up to 7 a.m. classes on 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And then, just to rub it in, your next class won't be scheduled for 2 hours after that one gets out, which is just enough free time to do nothing. You can't go back to your dorm room and sleep because by the time you get there and fall asleep, you'll have to be back up and out the door. You'll end up with a total dead spot right in the middle of your day. A total waste of time which could be filled with classes so you could get out 2 hours earlier in the evening and have time to do homework, study, and relax, but no. You get nothing for 2 hours. You get to go sit on the grass somewhere and try to read a book while you pretend it's not eating you alive, that this is a completely mismanaged waste of time, just like adult life. But hey, you'll eventually get your sleep schedule in order and discipline yourself just in time for your college classes to ramp up dramatically and leave you with so much work to do and so many exams that you don't get to sleep anyway. When will you ever in your entire life need to call upon the knowledge gained by doing a 10-page paper, single-spaced, on the mating habits of Galapagos tortoises? Who knows? Who cares? Paper's due at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Get to work. Maybe you think high school is still in the lead for the battle to crush your human spirit, but it only shows you haven't been to college yet. That's because you'll soon start to realize that 3/4 of your classes have absolutely nothing to do with your major and only exist to fulfill a total BS requirement for a degree as dictated by state and federal law. Requirements, by the way, which were shaped by the very educational institutions which profit by forcing you to take all those extra classes. Want to be a journalist or creative writer and get a fine arts degree? Here's 6 semesters of mandatory mathematics and science classes you have to take in order to get your degree. Because if you didn't, then your college experience would be about half as long, and they would only get away with charging you half as much. As the reality of your mounting student loans begins to manifest in your life, and you get closer to graduation and having to pay those loans off, the true evil genius powers of college to crush the human soul will become clearer. High school may have the power to humiliate, but college has the power to destroy your finances, literally steal food out of your mouth through student loan payments, and annihilate your self-esteem as you're forced to move back home at 26 because your loans make it impossible to live on your own. And with that, we're declaring college the clear winner of this epic Who Would Win episode. High school may be rough on the self-esteem, but ultimately all that high school can do is tease you until you cry alone on a Saturday night because nobody invited you to the cool kids party. College will destroy your entire life financially until you're crying at home alone in your parents' basement every single Saturday night because you can't afford to leave the house. In this battle between evil superpowers for your soul, college easily chews you up and spits you out, leaving you a broken shell of fading hope. What about you? Are you struggling with high school or college life right now? Maybe you've been thinking about building a website where you can commiserate about all those early mornings and pointless papers. Well, the absolute best place to go get that done is Wix. With Wix, you can easily create a personal site by using any of the hundreds of fully customizable templates, all with an easy-to-use drag-and-drop interface, leaving you with plenty of time to study or, more realistically, sneak in a quick nap between classes. Need even more help? Wix's powerful ADI feature will create a fantastic and unique site for you in moments, just by answering a few simple questions. Try out Wix today by visiting the link in the description or going to wix.com/go/infographics2019. Which do you think should really win this matchup for your spirit, college or high school? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic matchups.